We know why we're here. To design the future of flight, inside and out.
To build tomorrow's technology in amazing ways.
And reshape the science of aerospace forever.
Around the globe, the people of Boeing are working together for the dreams of generations to come.
That's why we're here.
You talk too much. I can't believe the things that you say.
Mitch McConnell, Jack Reed,
John Warner, Lance Armstrong,
Jim Webb, John Cornyn,
Senator and Mrs. Edwards,
Max Cleland, Ray Odierno, Bill Richardson, Sam Brownback,
Mike Huckabee.
And it's not an ambush, it's a straight up, we're trying to win. I think we will win.
Why New Hampshire?
Because voters there are very savvy. They look for a person who truly has the convictions and sticks by them, even if it's not necessarily what they agree with. I have to be a little flattered that the Club for Growth targeted me with $100,000 of ads in a state where no one thought I was even playing seriously. And you have to wonder, where did that money come from? Who gave them that money?
You have some idea?
I have to think it may be one of the other candidates.
I think they should not submit a single funding bill to the president for the war that doesn't have a timetable for withdrawal. And I think they should use whatever legislative tool is available to them, including filibuster.
Including a filibuster.
Including a filibuster.
My value is that people trust me. They trust me to say what's on my mind and to be direct. And I answer questions. I answer questions about why it is John uses the internet so heavily. And I think it's partly because the mainstream media is enthralled with a obviously interesting story between a man of African American heritage and a woman candidate. That's an interesting story. Actually, I feel great. I still have no symptoms, which is a very good sign. My protocol is easy to work around a campaign schedule.
Now's the time. You cut the deal. You send Jim Baker. The president sends Jim Baker, meets with the key Sunni, Shia, and Kurdish leaders, brings them all together in a Dayton type of operation and says, we got to have the political deal now. That it's hard to lead a nation on such a tough social issue, moral issue, if you don't have conviction on it yourself. I think this is one of the key moral issues of our day.
If we withdraw our troops, you've got the insurgents that have been united today with al-Qaeda, with the terrorists, against our troops. That's what unites them. If we get out, then the insurgents will start fighting the terrorists, and nobody likes foreign fighters in Iraq.
Would you accept a place on the Democratic ticket as a vice presidential candidate?
I am not looking for any of that. One quick comment about Senator Warner.
That's not a no.
Are you vice presidential material?
Well, I'd like to think I'm presidential material. You know, the point is, I've never seen a guy say, I'm going to the Olympics, and man, my goal is to be the silver medalist.
Senator McCain's, Mayor Giuliani, Senator Thompson, all having survived cancer, they're not participating. Did they say why?
I spoke to most of them personally, either scheduling conflicts or family time. You know, for me, listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a disappointment.
Are you going to run?
Wait till September.
That's 5 days away.
That's all right. Wait till September. And I've got to assess at this age whether it is fair to Virginia to ask for a contract for another 6 years.
That sounds like a lot to ask a man between the ages of 80 and 86.
That is correct.
If you're asking me, will I ever run for office, I mean, my answer is always the same. Never say never.
Most respectfully, Mr. President, and I mean this, most respectfully suggest that you put some teeth behind your words. If America is faced with other contingencies and has to resort to the utilization of particularly our ground forces very quickly, will that contingency be able to fulfill by trained and ready troops?
And what's the answer?
The answer is clearly, we have a problem and we better solve it.
And he clearly felt very strongly about sending some sort of message. And what kind of message does that send to moderate Republicans? It gives them a little cover.
But I do think there's a good chance that in September we'll go in a different direction. I don't think that means an arbitrary surrender date. Frankly, I think a lot of my members would be surprised if there was not some level of drawdown over the next coming months.
Is that we cannot maintain 160,000 troops past next spring. They know that this robust presence will end. But the real issues there are political issues.
the few people in government who still, on the one hand, strongly believe in what we attempted to do in Vietnam, and on the other hand, from the beginning, have strongly warned against the strategic blunder of going into Iraq. They simply are not comparable.
The part of the analogy that is not apt is that when we left Vietnam, the enemy did not follow us here. They will follow us here if we allow Iraq to become a failed state.
Yes, there was an aftermath for which we paid a price and the Vietnamese paid a price. But we paid a hell of a big price being there. And that's the argument in Iraq. This is a political war in Iraq.
People are expecting him to basically come in and be the fifth head on Mount Rushmore.
Talk too much. I can't believe the things that you say.
Brought to you by the Boeing Company.